my mirror. Start to blush when somebody says your name. In my stomach there's a pain. You walk in my direction.
You're a mom and you're having a hard time finding time to read. You're not alone. This video is all about how I find time to read as a mom of two. I have a 2.5-year-old, almost 3-year-old, and a 4-month-old. And y'all, it gets hard out here, okay? There is not enough time in the day half these days, but I like to read. I find joy in reading, hence my channel name. And I kind of went through a period where I completely fell off, but I'm back and I'm here to tell you how you can try to get more reading in, whether you're a mom, whether you just have so much things to do, whether you have a lot on your plate, you're working multiple jobs, whatever it may be that kind of cuts your time short. We're going to talk about some ways that you can find time to read so that we can read more books, so that we can tackle the TBR, okay? So, hey, because it's been months, okay? I think it's been like 2 months since my last video, and I apologize. I have been just so mad at myself because I have been trying to get back into the swing of things on booktube and like my bookstagram and everything, and I was going good, and then I was like, oh, I don't have time. Like, I'm not able to devour these books and read so quickly like I used to be able to do when I only had Cam. And she was a toddler, so you know, I was able to do a lot more because she kind of would play independently throughout the day, or I'd have pockets where when she's napping I have the full 3 hours to her. But now I'm a mama of 2, and now my time is stretched even more, so it's been a little bit difficult to try to find time for me and, you know, get through a book. It's taking me decades and decades and decades to just read one book. So this video is all about how I am finding time to read, things that I'm going to do to try to get more time out of my day and like really schedule it and try to be serious about it, because I enjoy reading. I want to read all these books on my bookshelf and I just have not been able to get through things. So anyway, just sharing, you know, I just told you guys that after becoming a mom of 2, it was really hard for me to kind of come up with this system and a time schedule of how my days look. Every day is kind of like, I don't know, like, you know what I mean? It's very, you have to be flexible when you have a newborn, because you just can't expect your day to go exactly how you plan it when you have a baby. So I was fully expecting to make my comeback after having Kennedy and just being like, yep, all right, let's get back into these books, let's get into these series that I've been trying to read. And I have read maybe like 3 to 5 books this year so far, and we're in April, when last year I was already like in my 20s something book. So I don't know. I guess I came back with the assumption that everything was gonna look the same, and that's just not the case. And when seasons change and, you know, your life just evolves in different aspects, you can't expect every season to look the same. So yes, after I had Cam, I bounced back and I was able to just sit for hours and hours and hours and read and like do these 24-hour reading challenges, read multiple books in a week. Like, I was able to do that, and that's just not the case now. I was, I guess, hoping that would be like I would just be able to do the same thing, but that's just not the reality of what it is. So I'm finding myself getting frustrated with myself and being annoyed, because it's like I'm reading these books and then I don't know when I'm gonna be able to pick it back up. So enough is enough, and now I'm trying to implement different things so that, one, I can get content, because I can't get content to you guys if I'm not reading. I am working on ways to build reading time into my day, even if it's like 10-15 minutes. Anything counts, and that's gonna get me further in the book more than not reading it at all, just because I don't have an hour to sit and read. So I want to talk about, is she crying? I gotta go get the baby. She's gonna be our guest. You see, I don't even have time to record. All right, y'all, we have a guest. We're gonna go over, I think we're gonna do 5 tips, okay? So first tip, change your mindset. Stop thinking that reading is gonna look the same for you when you're in a new season with new things, new responsibilities, things taking up more of your time. Don't think that reading is gonna look the same. Motherhood is a time consume. It's a full-time job, okay? So you cannot just think that if you're pre-baby reading habits will be the same, especially freshly postpartum, because that's just not the case. They need a lot of our attention. They need a lot of our time as little babies because, you know, what are they supposed to do? Changing your mindset and understanding like, okay, reading is going to look different for me now. So how can I fit it in and still be able to do the hobby that I love? So tip number 2, finding pockets of time throughout your day that you're able to squeeze in some reading. Whether it be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it may be. You might be surprised that when you sit down for these 10 to 15 minutes, they might extend a little bit because you might just have time. But when you're setting aside this time, you're at least blocking off like, okay, I'm gonna have 15 minutes to read. You can schedule it, or you can just literally always, like, I always have a book with me. I always have my Kindle with me when we go out and about. So finding hitting pockets of time is literally like if you're in the car, if you're waiting at the doctor's office, if you're, I don't know, at a kid's activity or something. Like there's little times throughout your day where you might be sitting, like driving, and you're the passenger waiting for your oil change to be done, or you're anywhere you're out and you're like waiting. Working out, that's another thing. Like y'all know you can read and be on your treadmill walking. So it's like you can find little pockets in your day and use those moments to fit in some reading. I have read on my treadmill before. I may start doing that now, like if I work out in the afternoon or the evenings, like take that 30 minutes to an hour and bring my book out there and just read, and whatever it is, that is a time where I really don't have to be doing anything else because I can't do much, but the least I could do is have my Kindle, my book, and be reading. A Kindle is much easier than a treadmill because you don't want to get hurt and you don't have to be like worried about your book staying in place and stuff. So I highly recommend Kindles when you're working out, but that's an idea. I always have my Kindle and everything in the car with me, so that's another thing that I do. In the morning sometimes when my daughter is doing her independent play and her sister's sleeping or I'm holding her, I can have my Kindle and be reading anything. If you're breastfeeding, you can take that time throughout the night, have your Kindle out, you're up anyway, pumping, you're up, might as well read. That's what I was doing early on. Anytime I wake up through the night to pump or feed her, I would have my Kindle and be reading. But now that she sleeps throughout the night, I'm knocked out too. So that is no longer a pocket of time for me. But in the morning when I wake up, I could be using that time to read just anything. 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes I have to pump. So it's like, there you go. There's 20 to 30 minutes right there. So finding any pocket of time throughout your day. Tip number 3 is gonna be audiobooks or ebooks. And y'all, I now understand the moms and the audiobooks, because it is so hard. One, it's hard to have a physical book around a toddler because they either want to take it out of your hands, draw or color on it, or I don't even know. They want it. They see it and they want it. So it's very hard sometimes to have your physical books around children. And it's just like a lot to have to turn the page, and it's just a lot when you're trying to get them to not be doing stuff or help them with things, or they're trying to play with you. It's hard. We don't have that many hands. So a Kindle during those times is also something where I'm able to sit, have my Kindle, read my book. She doesn't really know what I'm doing. And yeah, that has been a moment where I'm able to get in some reading time. Audiobooks have changed the game. If you want to read more, audiobooks, especially in the peak of postpartum, audiobooks, because sometimes you just don't even have the energy to pick up the book, pick up the Kindle, whatever it may be. But that audiobook, now it depends, because some of the voices in the audiobooks I'm not too much a fan of, but I did listen to Chris and Hannah, the Women audiobook. 10 out of 10. That was beautiful. I usually listen to audiobooks when I'm doing my hair. That's like my routine at this point. When I'm braiding my hair, I'm listening to an audiobook. Audiobooks, you just get you some AirPods, your Beats, whatever it is, your headphones. When you're doing the dishes, you're making breakfast in the morning, making lunches, closing the kitchen down at night, cleaning up, folding. Anytime you're doing any other mom activity or activity that you need to do in the house, your errands, whatever it is, your to-do list, you can be listening to an audiobook. And now it is hard sometimes. I would say pick the right audiobook, because I can't listen to every audiobook and multitask, because like a fantasy, I don't know, because you don't listen for just 1 minute and you miss something. So it's like certain books I feel like are good for multitasking, but if you're just sitting, like in the morning when I'm sitting with my daughter and she's playing independently, I could have an audiobook on and just be listening to it. So audiobooks and ebooks, like I said, my Kindle, have changed the game. And I never was a girl. I was like, I did not think audiobooks counted as reading, but they do. They do. Okay, don't let anyone tell you that you don't, because they do. But yeah, audiobooks and ebooks on your Kindle, whatever device you have, change the game, especially in motherhood. Tip number 4, swapping your screen time for reading, which that's already a challenge that goes around on booktube as it is, but it is so true, because look at your screen time, see how much time you're spending on your phone. You could be using that time to read, and it depends, because some people like work on their phone, like content creators, you know, you're doing stuff on your phone, or you're working, whatever it may be. You might not be like realizing that you're just like doom scrolling in some circumstances. So figure out what time you're spending on your phone that's not productive, that's not anything that you actually need to be doing, and swap that time to read. If you're already on your phone, download the Kindle app on your phone and be reading, instead of, if you want to hold your phone and it's just like a habit to you, read on the Kindle app, read on Libby, read on Hoopla, read on all these apps that are available for you to read on your phone. And then you can also just listen to Audible, any of it you can do on your phone. So you don't even have to part ways with your phone. Just use your phone for different reasons if you have time to sit there and be on your phone. So that's a heavy one. That one, I know I doom scroll, and it's just like, why am I sitting here scrolling when there's other things that I want to do? So then tip number 5, creating a reading routine for each day. So like I said in the beginning, pick 10 minutes. Pick a 10-minute slot that you're usually free throughout the day and use that time to read. Whatever it is, if you can wake up early in the morning, if you want to stay up a little bit late, if you want to get in your bed earlier than your bedtime and then take that time to read. Like say you go to bed at 9 o'clock, try to get in the bed at 8 o'clock, 8:30, and then spend that extra time reading. Whatever it may be, try to find a reading routine. In the morning, you can have your cup of coffee, your tea, whatever it may be. Just try to get into making reading a habit, so that each day that you do it, you'll get better and it'll become just a natural routine for you. That is pretty much all that I have for this video. I myself am implementing these things every single day. I'm trying to figure out what works for me, what works best in my season. As a mom of 2, I'm a busy woman, but I still love to read, and I'm getting all these books, and there's new releases coming out that I need to get, and I haven't even finished the other books that I'm reading. So it's just like, enough is enough, and I have to figure out how to use my time wisely and how to squeeze the things in that I want to do without it being like such a burden or like rush. Like, I want to enjoy these books, I want to enjoy my reading time. So that is how I'm going to be doing it, those 5 tips. And yeah, audiobooks are really about to come through, because it's been hard, y'all. It's been hard, but I thank you for bearing with me, and I hope that this helps someone just to realize, like, little by little is enough. It's just like working out. If you just move each day, you know, you'll see progress. It's better to do a little bit than to do nothing at all. So instead of me being frustrated that I can't read and just not reading because I can't sit and read for hours and hours and hours, I'm not reading anything when I could be taking 15 minutes, 30 minutes a day and making some leeway in the books that I want to read. So if you're busy as well and have a lot of things on your plate but you love to read, please comment down below and let me know what are some tips and tricks that you do to fit reading in. And if you don't, what's one of the tips that you're gonna try to implement? And let me know. I want to talk to you guys down below. I'm back, and the content will be coming. It'll be different, but it's just gonna be realistic, y'all, because I'm not sitting here just getting through books quickly right now. Hopefully, again, one day it'll be like it was and I'm able to do stuff like that, but one day at a time. That's all we can do, and all I can do is give myself grace in this season and try my best to create routine and habits that allow me to enjoy reading again. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
The reason why